Buying a car in 2026 feels very different from just a few years ago. The chaos of empty dealership lots, extreme markups, and desperate buyers has eased, but that does not mean negotiating has become easy. In fact, in many ways, it has become more strategic. Dealers are more calculated. Manufacturers are more disciplined with supply. Interest rates remain higher than many buyers would like, and monthly payments are still stretching household budgets. So if you are planning to buy a car in 2026, the question is not whether you can negotiate. You absolutely can. The real question is whether you know how to negotiate the right way in today's market. Negotiation in 2026 is no longer about walking in and demanding thousands off sticker price. It is about preparation, positioning, timing, and control. The buyer who understands how the system works almost always pays less than the buyer who walks in unprepared. The first thing you need to understand is that the dealership is not your enemy. It is a business, and like any business, it operates on margins, targets, and incentives. When you understand those pressures, you gain leverage without raising your voice. Before you ever step into a dealership, your negotiation begins online. Research is your strongest weapon. Look at multiple dealerships within driving distance. Compare the exact trim levels you're interested in. Pay attention to how long certain vehicles have been listed. Many dealership websites show days on lot indirectly through listing age. Vehicles that have been sitting for 60, 75, or even 90 days are far more negotiable than fresh arrivals. Inventory in 2026 is healthier than during the shortage era, but manufacturers are careful not to flood the market. That means you may not see huge public discounts everywhere. However, behind the scenes, dealers still have targets to hit. They still want to move older inventory. They still want to secure financing deals. And that is where opportunity exists. Timing matters more than most buyers realize. The end of the month can create flexibility. Salespeople often work toward monthly quotas and bonus thresholds. The last few days of a sales cycle can shift the tone of a conversation dramatically. End-of-quarter periods can also create urgency on the dealership side. You are not manipulating anyone. You are simply understanding the rhythm of the business. When you walk into the dealership, the most important rule is this: negotiate the price of the car, not the payment. Dealers often prefer to discuss monthly payments because it allows them to adjust loan terms, interest rates, and add-ons to create the appearance of affordability. A longer loan can lower the monthly payment while increasing the total amount you pay. Stay focused on the total out-the-door price. That means the final number including taxes, dealer fees, documentation fees, and any additional charges. Ask clearly and confidently for the full breakdown. Do not rush through the paperwork stage. Clarity gives you control. Silence is one of the most powerful negotiation tools you have. When the salesperson presents a number, resist the urge to immediately respond. A brief pause creates psychological pressure. Often, the salesperson will begin adjusting the offer simply to fill the silence. You do not need to be aggressive. Calm confidence is far more effective. Another important strategy in 2026 is leveraging competition without being confrontational. Request written quotes from multiple dealerships before you visit in person. When a dealer knows you are comparing offers, the conversation changes. You are no longer a casual browser. You are a serious buyer with options. A simple statement such as, "I am ready to purchase if we can agree on a competitive out-the-door number," signals urgency without desperation. Dealers respond to buyers who appear informed and decisive. Trade-ins require a separate strategy. Never combine the negotiation of your new vehicle with the negotiation of your trade-in at the same time. Secure the best possible purchase price first. Only then introduce the trade-in discussion. Mixing the two makes it easier for numbers to shift invisibly in the background. Research your trade-in value before you go. Use multiple valuation tools. Consider getting an offer from a used car retailer. When you walk in knowing your vehicle's approximate worth, you eliminate guesswork. If the dealer's offer is too low, you have alternatives. In 2026, used car values are more stable than in previous volatile years, but certain vehicles still hold stronger resale value than others. Trucks, reliable SUVs, and fuel-efficient hybrids often command solid offers. Luxury vehicles may depreciate faster. Understanding this context helps you evaluate whether a trade-in offer is fair. You must also understand how dealerships generate profit. Front-end profit comes from the sale price of the vehicle itself. Back-end profit often comes from financing, extended warranties, service packages, and add-ons. Even if a dealer lowers the vehicle price, they may attempt to regain margin in the finance office. This is why you should secure financing approval before visiting the dealership. Check rates with your bank or credit union. Having pre-approval shifts power back to you. The dealer may attempt to beat your rate, and that is fine, but you should never rely solely on dealership-arranged financing without comparison. When you reach the finance office, slow down. Review every document carefully. Add-ons are often presented quickly and confidently. Some may offer real value. Others may not be necessary for your situation. Ask questions. Take your time. The deal is not final until you sign. One of the most underestimated skills in negotiation is emotional detachment. Do not fall in love with a car before the numbers make sense. The moment you appear emotionally committed, your leverage weakens. There will always be another vehicle. Even if it feels like the perfect one, remember that walking away is an option. Walking away does not mean storming out. It means politely declining and leaving your contact information. Many buyers are surprised to receive follow-up calls with improved offers. Distance often changes the dynamic. Negotiating in 2026 also requires understanding market segments. High-demand vehicles, such as certain trucks or popular hybrid models, may offer less room for negotiation. Slower-selling sedans or overstocked trims may provide more flexibility. Research which models are moving quickly in your region. Be realistic in your expectations. The era of extreme deep discounts may not be widespread, but reasonable negotiation is still possible. A well-prepared buyer can often secure savings through small adjustments across the deal rather than one massive price cut. Confidence comes from preparation. Know the manufacturer's suggested retail price. Know current incentives. Ask about loyalty bonuses, military discounts, or promotional financing. Incentives can sometimes reduce costs significantly without affecting dealer margin directly. Throughout the process, maintain professionalism. Salespeople are more willing to work with buyers who are respectful and composed. Negotiation is not a battle. It is a structured conversation. When both sides feel respected, agreements come faster. It is also important to inspect the vehicle carefully. Look for cosmetic imperfections, scratches, or minor issues. These details can sometimes justify small adjustments in price. If you notice something, mention it calmly. You are not accusing, you are evaluating. If you are purchasing a used vehicle, request a vehicle history report and ask about service records. Transparency builds trust. If the dealership cannot provide clear documentation, that becomes a negotiation point. Remember that negotiation does not end with the vehicle price. Ask about included services such as complimentary maintenance, oil changes, or additional accessories. Sometimes value can be added even if price movement is limited. Stay patient. Do not rush the process because of time pressure. If you feel overwhelmed, take a break. A rushed decision rarely produces the best outcome. By the time you sit down to sign paperwork, you should feel confident, not pressured. If something feels unclear, ask for clarification. If numbers do not match what was discussed, pause the process. Negotiating car prices in 2026 is about being informed, strategic, and composed. The market has evolved. Buyers who rely on outdated tactics may feel frustrated. Buyers who adapt to the current environment often succeed. The strongest negotiator is not the loudest person in the room. It is the person who understands the structure of the deal, separates emotion from numbers, and remains willing to walk away if necessary. Car buying in 2026 rewards preparation more than aggression. When you research inventory, compare offers, separate price from payment, secure financing options, and maintain calm discipline, you shift the advantage in your favor. You do not need dramatic confrontation to save money. You need clarity, timing, and confidence. If you approach the dealership informed and patient, you will not only negotiate a better price, you will control the entire experience. And in 2026, control is the real advantage.